Good morning. We are reading The Last Vampire by Christopher Pike. Where are we? Well, our main character has killed a private detective, and because he pried too much into her affairs. And she realizes she killed him too fast because she needs to delete the files on the computer. And she has joy as she's in high school now, Mayfair High School, and she has talked a boy into helping her move her furniture, despite the fact that he has a girlfriend. Ha! And now she's having a dream, and it's telling us about telling about her past. And now this is a lot like what Anne Rice does. It, with hers, told us about the past of Lestat. So, let's continue. I can never be like you. You are different from anybody else. My difference is my greatness. I am the first of my kind, but I can make others like me. I can make you like me if you will consent to our blood mixing. I didn't know what he was offering, but it frightened me that his blood, even a little, should get inside me. What would your blood do to me? I asked. He stood tall. You see how strong I am? I cannot be easily killed. I see things you cannot see. I hear what you cannot hear. He leaned close, his breath cold on my cheek. Most of all, I dream things you never imagined. You can be part of that dream, Sita. Or you can begin to rot tonight in the ground beside your husband and child. I did not doubt his words. His uniqueness had been obvious to me from the start. That he could transfer his qualities into another did not surprise me. If your blood entered into me, would I also become cruel like you? I asked. My question amused him. I believe in time you would become worse than I. He leaned closer still, and I felt his teeth touch my earlobe. He took a tiny bite and sucked at the blood that flowed, and the act revolted me because of its effect on me. I liked it. I loved it even more than I loved the passion my husband gave to me in the middle of the night. I felt the true essence of Yaksha's power then, the depth of it, the space beyond the black space in the sky where the Yakshinis came from. Just with that tiny bite, I felt as if every drop of my blood turned from red to black. I felt invincible. Still, I hated him more than ever. I took a step back. I watched you grow up, I said. You watched me. You know I always speak my mind. How can I be your wife if I hate you so? Why would you want a wife like me? He spoke seriously. I have wanted you for years now. I turned my back on him. If you want me so, it must mean you care about me. And if you care about me, then leave this place. Go away and don't come back. I'm happy with my life. I felt his cold hand on my shoulder. I will not leave you. Then kill me. But leave my husband and child alone. His grip on my shoulder tightened. Truly, I realized he was strong as 10 men, if not more. If I cried out, Rama would be dead in a moment. Pain radiated from my shoulder into the rest of my body, and I was forced to stoop. No, he said, you must come with me. It was your destiny that you were there that night. It is your destiny to follow me now to the edge of night. The edge of night? He pulled me up and kissed my hand hard on the lips. Once more I tasted his blood mixed with mine. We will live for eternity, he swore. Just say yes. You must say yes. He paused and glanced at my house. He did not have to say it again. I understood his meaning. I was beaten. Yes. He hugged me. Do you love me? Yes. You lie, but it doesn't matter. You will love me. You will love me forever. He picked me up and carried me away into the darkest forest, into a place of calm, of silence, where he opened his veins and mine with his nails, and pressed our arms together, and held them such, for what seemed forever. In that night all time was lost, and all love was tainted. He spoke to me as he changed me, but it was with words I did not understand, the sounds Yakshinis must have make when they mate in their black hells. He kissed me and stroked my hair. Eventually, the power of his transformation overwhelmed my body. My breathing, my heartbeat, they raced faster and faster until soon they chased each other until I began to scream, like one dropped into a boiling pot of oil. Yet this I did not understand, and still do not. The worst of the agony was that I could not get enough of it. That thrilled me more than the love any mortal could give me. In that moment, Yaksha became my lord, and I cried for him. Instead of for Vishnu, even as the race of my breathing and heartbeat collided and stopped. Yes, as I died, I forgot my God. I chose the path my father had rejected. Yes, it is the truth. I cursed my own soul by my own choice as I screamed in wicked pleasure and embraced the son of the devil. Oh my goodness. What is going to happen next? We are in chapter 4. The expression, the impatience of youth, is silly. The longer I live, the more impatient I become. True. If nothing much is happening, I can sit perfectly still and be content. This is what I've noticed about Trista here. She is very manipulative, and she doesn't care about what happens as long as she gets what she wants. Do I like that? No. But is this a good book? Yes, it is. Once I stayed in a cave for 6 months and had only the blood of a family of bats to dine on. But as the centuries have gone by, I want what I want immediately. I enter into a relationship swiftly. Therefore, in my mind, I already consider Ray and Seymour friends, although we have just met. Of course, I often end relationships as quickly. It is Ray's knocking at my door that brings me out of my rest. How does a vampire sleep? The answer is simple. Like something dead, true. I often dream when I sleep, but they are usually dreams of blood and pain. Yet the dream I just had of Amba and Rama and Yaksha of the beginning is the one I find most painful. The pain never lessens as time goes by. It is with heavy step that I walk from the bedroom to answer the front door. Ray has changed out of his school clothes into jeans and a gray sweatshirt. It is 10 o'clock. I glance at Ray, tells me that he is wondering what he is doing at my house after dark. The girl he has just met, this girl that has such hypnotic eyes. If he wasn't thinking about sex before, he might be thinking about it soon. Am I too late? He asks. I smile. I'm a vampire. I stay up all night. I step aside and gesture. Please come in, and please forgive the bare rooms. As I said, a lot of the furniture is still in the garage. The moving people couldn't get into the house when they came. Ray glances round and nods his approval. You said your parents are away. I did say that, yes. Where are they? Colorado. Where did you live in Colorado? In the mountains, I say. Would you like something to drink? Sure. What do you have? Water. He laughs. Sounds perfect. As long as you'll join me. Ooh, let's see. Here we go. The manipulation. Gladly. I might have a bottle of wine as well. Do you drink? I have beer every now and then. We head for the kitchen. Wine is better. Red wine. Do you eat meat? I'm not a vegetarian, if that's what you mean. Why do you ask? Just wondering, I say. He is so darling. It is hard to resist nibbling on him. We have a glass of wine together, standing in the kitchen, and we drink to world peace. Ray is anxious to get to work, he says. He is just anxious, alone with a mortal. My aura of difference is greater. Ray knows he is with a unique female, and he is intrigued and confused. I ask how Pat is. May as well confront his confusion. Fine, he says. Did you tell her you were coming to visit me? He lowers his head. He feels a twinge of guilt, but no more. I told her I was tired and wanted to go to bed. You can sleep here if you want. Once you bring in the beds. My boldness startles him. My father would wonder where I was. I have a phone. You can call him, I add. What does your father do? He's a private detective. Sounds glamorous. Do you want to call him? Ray catches my eye. I catch his in return. He doesn't flinch as his father did under my scrutiny. Ray is strong inside. Let's see how it goes and how late it gets, Ray says carefully. He sets to work. Soon he is huffing and puffing. I help him, but only a little. Nevertheless, he comments on my strength. I tell him how I befriended Seymour and he is interested. Apparently, Seymour is a friend of his as well. He's probably the smartest guy in the school, Ray says, lugging in a couple of dining room chairs. He's only 16 years old and he'll be graduating in June. He told me he likes to write, I say. He's an incredible writer. He let Pat read a couple of his stories and she gave them to me. They were real dark, but beautiful. One was about what goes on in the space between the moments of time. It was called The Second Hand. He had this character who suddenly begins to live between the moments and finds that there is more going on than there than in normal time. Sounds interesting. What made the story dark? The guy was in the last hour of his life, but it took him a year to live it. Did the guy know it was about his last hour? Ray hesitates. He must know Seymour is not well. I don't know, Laura. He has not used my name before. Call me Sita, I say, surprising myself. He raises an eyebrow. A nickname? Sort of. My father used to call me that. Ray is alert to my change of tone, for I have allowed sadness to enter my voice, or maybe it is the sound of longing, which is different from sorrow. No one I have cared about has used my real name in thousands of years. I think how nice it will be to have Ray say it. How long will your family be in Colorado? Ray asked. I lied. I lied. My father is not there. He's dead. I'm sorry. I was thinking about him before you came. I sighed. He died a long time ago. How did he die? He was murdered. Ray makes a face. Look at that. Manipulation. That must have been terrible for you. I know if anything ever happened to my father, I would be devastated. My mother left us when I was 5. I swallow thickly by the strength of my reaction. I realize how involved I have allowed myself to become with the boy. All because he has Rama's eyes. There is more to it than that. He also has Rama's voice. No, not his ancient accent, surely. The average person would have said, had they heard them together, that they sounded nothing alike. But to me, with my vampire ears, the subtle aspects of their voices are almost identical. The silence between their syllables. It was Rama's deep silence that initially attracted me to him. You must be very close, is all I can say. But I know. I will have to bring up the father again soon. I want in the office tonight. I just hope I mopped up every drop of blood. I have no wish to be with Ray when he learns the truth. If he ever does. I let him finish bringing in the furniture, which takes him a couple of hours, although it took me less than 20 minutes to put it in the garage. It is after midnight. I offer him another glass of wine, a large glass, and he drinks it down quick. He is thirsty as I am thirsty. I want his blood. I want his body. Blood, drinking, and sex are not that separate in my mind. Yet I am no black widow. I do not mate and kill. But the urges, the lusts, they sometimes come together. But I don't want to hurt this young man. I don't want any harm to befall him. Yet just by being with me, his chances of dying are much greater. I have only to think of my history and of the person who stalks me now. I watch as Ray sets down his empty glass. I should get home, he says. You can't drive. Why not? You're drunk. I'm not drunk. I smile. I gave you enough alcohol to make you drunk. Face it, boy. You're trapped here for a while. But if you want to sober me up quick, then take a hot tub. Take a hot tub with me. You can sweat the alcohol out of your system. I didn't bring my suit. I don't own a suit, I say. He is interested, very, but doubtful. I don't know. I step over and rest my palms on his sweaty chest. His muscles are well developed. It would be fun to wrestle with him, I think, especially since I know who would win. I look up into his eyes. He is almost a head taller than I. He looks down at me, and he feels as if he is falling into my eyes, into bottomless wells of blue, twin skies behind which the eternal black of space hides, the realm of the Yakshinis. He senses my darkness in this moment. I sense other things about him and feel a chill. So much like Rama, this boy. He haunts me. Could it be true? These words of Krishna's that Radha had told me about love. Time cannot destroy it. I am that love. Time cannot touch me. Time but changes form. Somewhere in some time it will return when you least expect it. The face of love one reappears. Look beyond the face and odd, but I cannot remember the last part of it. I of the perfect memory. I will not tell Pellet, I say. She will never know. He draws in a breath. I don't like lying to her. People always lie to one another. It's the way of the world. Accept it. It doesn't mean you have to hurt with your lies. I take his hands. They tremble slightly, but his eyes remain fastened on mine. I kiss his fingers and rub them on my cheek. What happens with me will not hurt her. He smiles faintly. Is that a lie to save me hurt? Maybe. Who are you, Sita? Who is Sita? Who is Sita? I told you already, but you weren't listening. It doesn't matter. I love how she just changes conversation direction. Come, we'll sit in the water together, and I'll rub your tired muscles. You'll love it. I have strong hands. Not long after, we are naked in the jacuzzi together. I have had many lovers, of course, both male and female, thousands actually, but the lure of the flesh has yet to fade in me. I am excited as Ray sits with his bare back to me, my knees lightly hugging his, rubbing his rib cage, my hands kneading deep into the tissue along his spine. It has been a long time since I have massaged anybody, and I enjoy it. The water is very hot, steam swirls around us, and Ray's skin reddens. But he says he likes it this way, so hot he feels he's being boiled alive. I, of course, don't mind boiling water. I lean over and bite him gently on his shoulder. Careful, he says. He does not want me to leave any marks for Pat to find. It will be gone in the morning. I suck a few drops of blood from his wound. Such a pleasant way to spend a night. The blood flows like an elixir down my throat, making me want more, but I resist the urge. I pinch the tip of my tongue with my teeth, and a drop of blood oozes onto the small bite. It vanishes instantly. I return to my massage. Ray, I say. He moans with pleasure. Yes, you can make love to me if you want. He moans some more. You are an amazing girl, Sita. I turn around slowly, easily, pleasurably. He tries not to look at my body and fails. I lean over and kiss him hard on his lips. I feel what he feels. His initial surprise, kissing a vampire, is not like kissing a mortal. Many men and women have swooned just from the brush of my lips. Such is the pleasure I can give. Yet there is a painful side. My kiss often sucks the breath from a person, even when I don't intend it to. Inside, I feel Ray's heart begin to pound. I release him before there is any danger. The later it gets, the more I vow not to harm him, and the more inevitable it seems. He hugs me, all slippery and wet, and tries to catch his breath while resting his chin on my shoulder. Are you choking on something? I ask. Yes, he coughs. I think it's you. I chuckle as I continue to stroke his back. You could do worse. You are not like any girl I've ever met. You don't you don't want just any girl, Ray. He sits back, my naked legs still around him. He is not afraid to look me in the eyes. I don't want to cheat on Pat. Tell me what you do want. I want to spend the night with you. A paradox. Which of us is going to win? I pause and add, I am a monster at keeping secrets. But we can both win. What do you want from me? His question startles me. It is so perceptive. Nothing, I lie. I think you want something. I smile. There's your body. He has to smile. I sound so cute, I know, but he is not dissuaded. What else do you want? I'm lonely. You don't look lonely. I'm not when I'm looking at you. You hardly know me. You hardly know me. Why do you want to spend the night with me? There is your body. But he loses his smile and lowers his hand. There's something else too. When you look at me, I feel you are seeing something nobody else sees. You have such amazing eyes. I pull him back toward me. I kiss him. That's true. I kiss him again. I see right through you. Again, another kiss. I see what makes you tick. A fourth time, a hard kiss. He gasps as I release him. What is that? He asks, sucking in a breath. You love Pat, but you crave mystery. Mystery can be strong as love, don't you think? You find me mysterious, and you're afraid if you let me slip away, you'll regret it later. He is impressed. That is how I feel. How did you know? I laugh. That is part of the mystery. He laughs with me. I like you, Sita, he says. I stop laughing. His remark, so simple, so innocent, pierced me like a dagger. No one in many years has said something as charming as, I like you to me. The sentiment is childish, I know, but is there nevertheless. I reach to kiss him again, knowing this time I'm going to squeeze him so tight he will not be able to resist making love to me, but something makes me stop. Look beyond his face, and you will see me. Krishna's words to Radha that she has given to me. There's something in Ray's eyes, a light behind them, that makes me reluctant to soil them with my touch. I feel it then, and I am a creature of evil. Inside I swear at Krishna. Only the memory of him can make me feel this way. Otherwise, if we had never met, I would not care. I care about you, Ray. I turn away. Come on, let's get out and get dressed. I want to talk to you about some things. Ray is shocked at my sudden withdrawal. Disappointed, but I sense his relief as well. Later we sit on the floor in the living room by the fire and finish the bottle of wine. Alcohol has little effect on me. I can drink a dozen truck drivers under the table. We talk of many things, and I learn more detail of Ray's life. His plans to go to Stanford the next fall and study physics and art, an odd double major he is quick to admit. The tuition at Stanford worries him. He doesn't know if his father can afford it. He should be worried, I think. He is a fan of modern quantum mechanics and abstract art. He works after school at a supermarket. He does not talk about Pat, and I don't bring her up. But I do steer the conversation back to his father. It is getting late, I say. Are you sure you don't want to call your father and tell him that you've been sitting naked in a jacuzzi with a beautiful blonde? She emphasizes the word beautiful, doesn't she? To tell you the truth, I don't think my dad's home. He has a girlfriend of his own? No. He's been out of town the last few days. Working on a case. What kind of case? I don't know what it is. He hasn't told me, except that it's big, and he hopes to make a lot of money on it. He's been working on it for a while now, Ray adds. But I'm getting worried about him. He often leaves 4 days at a time, but he never gone so long without calling. Do you have an answering machine at home? Yes. And he hasn't even left you a message? No. How long has he been out of touch? 3 days. I know that doesn't sound long, but I swear he calls me every day. I nod sympathetically. I would be worried if I were you. Does he have an office in town? Yes, on Tudor, not far from the ocean. Have you been by his office? I've called his secretary, but she hasn't heard from him either. That's ridiculous, Ray. You should call the police and report him missing. Ray waved his hand. You don't know my dad. I can never do that. He would be furious. No, I'm sure he just got wrapped up in his work, and he'll call me when he gets a chance. He pauses. I hope. I have an idea. I say as if it just occurred to me. Why don't you just go down to his office and check his files to see what his big case is? You'd probably be able to find out where he is. Oh my goodness. She is a manipulator. He wouldn't like me looking through his files. I shrug. It's up to you. But if it were my father, I would want to know where he was. His files are all on the computer. I'd have to go into his whole system, and there would be a notation left that I had done so. He has it set up that way. Can you get into his files? I mean, do you know the password? He hesitates. How do you know he has it set up that a password is required? There's a note of suspicion in his question, and once more I marvel at Ray's perceptive abilities. But I do not marvel long because I have waited for this very moment since I killed his father 2 days ago, and I have no intention of upsetting my plan. I didn't say, but it is common way to protect files. He appears satisfied. Yeah, I can get into his files. The password is a nickname he had for me when I was a kid. I do not need to ask him what it is, which may only increase his suspicion. Instead, I jump to my feet. Come on, let's go to his office right now. You'll sleep better knowing what he's up to. He is startled right now. Well, you don't want to go looking at his files when his secretary's there. Now is the perfect time. I'll come with you. But it is late. He yawns. I'm tired. I was thinking I should go home. Maybe he'll be there. That's an idea. Check to see if he's at home first. But if he's not, and he hasn't left you a message, then you should go to the office. Why are you so worried about my father? I stop suddenly, as if his question wounds me. Do you have to ask? I'm referring to the comment I made about my own poor dead father, and feel no shame using him that way. Ray looks suitably embarrassed. He sets down his glass of wine and gets up from the floor. Sorry, you may be right, he says. I'll sleep better knowing what's going on, but if you come with me, then I'll have to bring you back here. Oh my goodness. Chapter 5. She is such a manipulator. Oh my goodness. At Ray's house, I wait in the car while he goes in to see if his father has returned, or if there is a message from him. Naturally, I am not surprised when Ray returns a couple of minutes later, downcast. The cold has sobered him up, and he is worried. He climbs into the car beside me and turns the key in the ignition. No luck, I ask. No, but I got the key to his building. We won't have to break in. That's a relief. While I had Ray look away, I intended just to break the lock. We drive to the building I visited only 48 hours earlier. It is another cold night. Throughout the years, I have gravitated toward the warmer climates, such as my native India. Why I have chosen to come to Oregon, I am not sure. I glance over at Ray and wonder if it has something to do with him. But of course, I don't believe that because I don't believe in destiny. Much less. Oh my, 5 minutes left. But of course, I don't believe that because I don't believe in destiny, much less in miracles. I do not believe Krishna was God, or if he was God, maybe he was God. I simply do not know for sure. Then I do not believe he knew what he was doing when he created the universe. I have such contempt for the lotus-eyed one. Yet after all these years, I have never been able to stop thinking about him. Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. Even his name haunts me. Ray lets us into the building. Soon we are standing outside Mr. Michael Riley's office door. Ray searches for another key and finds him. We step inside. The lights are off. He could leave them off. I would still be able to find my way around. But he turns them on and heads straight into his father's office. He sits at the computer while I stand off to one side. I survey the floor. Minute drops of blood have seeped into and dried in the cracks between the tiles. They are not noticeable to mortal eyes, but the police will find them if they search. I decide, no matter what happens, that I must return and do more thorough cleaning. Ray boots the computer and hastily enters the secret password, thinking that I do not catch it, but I do. Ray Gun. Can you check what his latest entries were, I ask? Ooh. That's exactly what I'm doing. He looks over at me. You know about computers, don't you? Yes. I move closer so I can see the monitor. A menu flashes on the screen. The computer is equipped with a mouse. Ray chooses something called Path List. A list of files appears on the screen. They are dated. The number of bytes they occupy on the hard disk is also listed. A rectangular outline flashes around the file at the top. Alyssa Perm. Ray points to the screen. He must be working with this person, or else investigating her. He reaches for the enter button. Let's see who this woman is. Wait! I put my hand on his shoulder. Did you hear that? Hear what? That sound. I don't hear anything. I have sensitive hearing. I heard someone outside the building. Ray pauses and listens. It could have been an animal. There it is again. Did you hear it? Oh my goodness. She's being distracted. I appear mildly anxious. Ray, could you please see if anyone's there? He thinks a moment. Sure, no problem. Stay here. Lock the door. I'll call you when I return. He goes to get up. There he is, the chivalry. But he exits the file before he leaves, although he leaves the computer running. Interesting, I think. He was willing to sleep with me, but he doesn't trust me alone with his father's files. Smart boy. The moment he's out the door, I lock it and hurry to the computer. I enter the password and call up the files. I can speed read like no mortal and have a photographic memory, yet I cannot read nearly as fast as a modern computer can copy. From the other night, I know Riley has a box of formatted 3.5-inch high-density diskettes in his desk. Now, you know the book is a little bit old when we're talking about diskettes. At least it's not floppy disks. All right. I removed 2 from the drawer and slipped one into the computer. I am familiar with the word processor. I set it to copying the file. Mr. Riley had accumulated a lot of information on me. The illicit PERN file is large. I estimate, given the equipment I'm using, that it will take me 5 minutes to copy the file onto both diskettes. Ray will return before then. While the file copies, I return to the office entrance and study the locks. I hear Ray walking. Oh no, we have to stop. Time to go to work. Well, today's Friday. We will continue reading The Last Vampire on Monday. And if you like YA horror mystery adventures, okay, that is similar to that's spooky and creepy, like Fear Street and Lost Boys. And if you like vampires and teen romance, then check out Vampire Juice. My link is in the bio. It is 99 cents until January. Now, here is the little description. Amanda and Sean stumble upon a mysterious can of juice while searching for Halloween costumes at a local store. Despite being kicked out by the sales clerk, they become obsessed with uncovering the truth behind the strange drink. With the help from some local bullies, they sneak into the store through a crypt in the graveyard. That's right, a crypt in the graveyard that leads to the store, only to find themselves in the midst of a spine-chilling adventure. That is an understatement. Well, thank you for watching, and I will see you Monday.